All right, let me be real with you for a second. Most people slept on one of the most important moves the Toronto Blue Jays made this entire offseason. Everyone was talking about Dylan Cease, everyone was hyped about Shane Bieber coming back, and yeah, those moves are massive. But there's a piece to this puzzle that didn't get nearly enough attention, and if the Blue Jays are going to go from contender to champion in 2026, it might actually come down to what's happening in that bullpen. Because here's the thing, after 2025, after everything this team accomplished, after that postseason run that had the entire city of Toronto locked in, the bullpen posted a 4.44 ERA in the playoffs. That number tells you everything you need to know. The offense was electric, the rotation was solid, but late in games, in the moments that mattered most, there were cracks. And front offices don't ignore cracks like that, not when you're this close. So what did they do about it? They went and signed Tyler Rogers. And if you don't know who Tyler Rogers is, you need to pay attention right now, because this guy is one of the most uniquely effective pitchers in all of baseball, and he just became a Blue Jay. Last season, Rogers appeared in 81 games. 81. That was the most appearances of any pitcher in baseball, and across 77.1 innings, he posted a 1.98 ERA. Think about what that means. This guy was used more than anyone else on a pitching staff, and he was still one of the most effective relievers in the game. That's not just durability, that's reliability at the highest level. He didn't wear down, he didn't fade, he just kept going out there and getting hitters out. And the way he does it is unlike anything most hitters see on a regular basis. His arm angle is completely different from anything a typical lineup is prepared for. Batters spend their entire careers learning how to read spin, how to track release points, how to time deliveries, and then Tyler Rogers walks out there and flips everything upside down. Baseball Savant has him ranking in the 95th percentile or higher in multiple pitching metrics. This isn't just a guy with a funky delivery, he's genuinely elite, and now he's setting up games in Toronto. That acquisition addresses something real. Going into 2026, if you look at the left-handed options in this bullpen, you've got Brendan Little and Mason Fluharty. Fluharty is only 24, and the Blue Jays leaned on him during the postseason last year, but he posted a 5.68 ERA across those 11 appearances. That's not a number you can feel great about in high-leverage October situations. There's clearly talent there, development to come, but the Blue Jays can't afford to wait on potential when they're in win-now mode. Chase Lee is another name you're going to want to write down. Acquired in a trade with the Detroit Tigers, Lee has shown real effectiveness against left-handed hitters, and there's a genuine conversation happening about whether he's on that opening day roster. He's the kind of arm that could quietly become one of John Schneider's most trusted weapons because of how specifically useful he is in matchup situations. In a modern bullpen, that specificity has enormous value. Now, let's talk about Jeff Hoffman, because this is a conversation that needs to happen. The guy saved 33 games last season. 33. He was a legitimate closer who did his job consistently over the course of a full season. And then Game 7 of the World Series happened, and that home run to Miguel Rojas became the moment everyone remembers. That's how sports work. One moment can overshadow everything. But here's what's important to understand. Before that at-bat, Hoffman had allowed just one earned run across his entire playoff run. One. He was nearly perfect when the stakes were at their absolute highest, and then one pitch changed the narrative around him entirely. So heading into 2026, Hoffman gets another shot at closing, and honestly, based on his full body of work, that's the right call. You don't throw away a guy who gave you 33 saves and was dominant through an entire postseason over one pitch. You trust the process, you trust the data, and you let him go back out there and prove it again. Yimi Garcia adds another layer to this, though there's some uncertainty around his status. He pitched in 22 games in 2025, but he's currently recovering from surgery to clean up scar tissue in his right elbow. The Blue Jays are working toward getting him back for opening day, but that's a situation to monitor closely as spring training unfolds. When he's healthy, Garcia is a useful arm. Whether he's ready in time is the real question. Louis Varland came over from the Minnesota Twins and showed exactly why Toronto wanted him. He's a hard thrower, and in a bullpen that already has some versatility, Varland fits the role of a high-leverage setup guy alongside Rogers. That pairing, Rogers with his unique angle and Varland with pure power stuff, gives Schneider some serious options before he ever hands the ball to Hoffman. Braden Fisher is the young arm in the mix, still developing, still finding his way at this level. He won't be asked to carry anything too heavy right now, but his continued development matters for what this bullpen could look like a year or two down the road. When you step back and look at the full picture, this Blue Jays roster has something that a lot of teams spend years trying to build: genuine balance. The offense has been one of the best in baseball. The starting rotation got significantly better with Cease and Bieber leading the way alongside Cody Ponce, and now the bullpen has more weapons, more depth, more of an answer for what went wrong in those late playoff moments. The margin between a great team and a championship team is almost always thin. It's usually not the stars that make the difference, because both teams have stars at that point. It's the depth. It's the guys coming out of the bullpen in the seventh inning when the game is on the line. It's the left-on-left matchup that gets one crucial out. Those are the moments that Rogers, Lee, Varland, and Hoffman are going to define in 2026. If this bullpen stays consistent, if it becomes what the front office believes it can be, then this Toronto Blue Jays team doesn't just look like a contender. It looks like a team that has genuinely fixed the one area that cost them everything last October. And that should have the entire American League paying very close attention to what's coming out of Toronto this year.